Welcome to Storytime with Shannon Nathan, and it's me, your gay auntie, here to present you with another wonderful story time of a spooky tale, since y'all seem to enjoy those quite a lot. Now I'm going to continue this trend of reading some of those creepypastas off of Reddit. I personally enjoy them, but don't you worry, I'm going to continue reading a lot of the classics. But I figured shaking things up a little bit would be fun. So pause here to go get yourself some snackies, a little something to drink, and get all colored up for this spooky tale written by user TwilightDreamer87 called My Parents' Haunted House. So let's go. This may be too long for some people to read, but I had to share. This is the first time I'm posting anything online about this. I am a 31-year-old woman married and recently moved back in with my parents due to moving back to the town I grew up in. My husband and I are taking our time looking for our own place due to wanting something nice in the area, and that is usually hard to find. This story takes place in my parents' house, started back about 10 years ago. A description of the house for a bit of context: it's a 2-story brick stone house, in city limits, but still surrounded by nothing but woods. You have to go through a garage that leads into the kitchen with the first bedroom to your left. Past the kitchen is the main living room, and to the right is the hall that is very open. In this area you will find the main dining room and second living area, but if you continue straight you will see the staircase to your left, and even further straight is my parents' bedroom and bathroom. Going up the stairs you will come to the third living area. Yes, this is a huge house, with 2 sets of French doors side by side that lead to an outside balcony. Going straight, there's a sharp left leads you to the other 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. This is where the story takes place. The first time I stepped foot into this house, I immediately felt off, like something just wasn't right. I felt a presence, but I didn't know what or who it was. I brushed it off, thinking I was just reading too much into it. I continued to feel this for the next couple of years, and because of this, I didn't much enjoy visiting them. My parents liked to gamble a lot back then, so they would ask me to babysit my baby brother and sister one day on the weekend. My boyfriend, now husband, loved them, so we would always babysit with me. The first few times, I really didn't pay attention to the feeling I would get because we would be busy playing or eating with the kids. After that, things kind of chilled out, and we would end up watching movies until it was time for us to go to bed. Now, my husband is a freak of nature. He's able to fall asleep the second his eyes are closed, where me, on the other hand, takes me forever to get comfortable enough to wind down my mind. I also don't sleep well, even when I do finally get to sleep. This night was the first time I saw and heard something in this brand new house. In this room, the bed is facing the doorway, but not directly in front of it. With the double doors open, you can see the front of the staircase and all the way down the hall, as long as the light is on, that is. This night, only one of the hallway lights were on. I was lying in bed with the TV on, but the volume down low so I could hear if one of the kids called me. I was almost asleep when I heard one of my siblings coming down the stairs. I opened my eyes a bit and waited for them to get to the bottom, but they never did. I didn't think anything of it, closed my eyes, and began to drift off again. A few minutes later, I hear it again, so I open my eyes and wait, but again, they never get to the bottom. This time I sit up and listen. A bit spooked, but nothing I cannot handle. I get a bit nervous, but still I go check to see if they are there, and maybe they are scared to come all the way down or something. No one's there. Confused and thinking I must have dreamed it up, I go back to bed, this time closing one of the double doors. It was a few hours later, around 2:30, when I feel like someone is very near me, as if they are standing next to the bed right in front of me. Usually when I open my eyes, I can see the green glow of the alarm clock on the bedside table, but this time I saw nothing. It was pitch black. I couldn't even see the hallway light on, and the TV was turned off on its own. I felt like I couldn't move. I was awake now and scared to my bones. I was finally able to call out my husband's name loud enough to wake him. He reached over and turned on the light, and right then the scared feeling went away and I was able to move. I freaked out and started crying. I couldn't begin to explain to him what happened because even if I had, he'd believe in those things. So I told him I was having a nightmare and asked him to go check on the kids. When he came back, he said the kids were fine and got back into bed. With the light on, I was able to fall back to sleep, but it took me forever. The next day, I told my mom about what had happened, and that's when she told me. She'd been hearing footsteps on the stairs at night and even saw someone standing by the door at times. She didn't tell anyone because she did not want to scare the kids. This is when she told me what she had done. She wanted to know what was going on in her house, so she went and bought a voice recorder. One day, she decided to use it and went upstairs while everyone was gone. She asked your typical questions of, who is there? What do you want? And why are you here? And then said, you have passed away and need to go into the light. You're not welcome here. The next day, she decided to leave the recorder in one of the bedrooms upstairs while it recorded for about 4 hours while she was out running errands. I asked if she had checked it out, and to my surprise, she said she was too afraid to listen to it alone. Well, I wanted to listen to it, and off we went to the computer and began to listen to it after it uploaded. During the 4 hours she was gone, you could hear something clicking and tapping. The sounds of a drawer opening and closing, but we weren't for sure. Then we listened to the part where she was asking questions. Now, you could hear a sound that resembled a fan, or maybe static throughout the whole thing, so some sounds were indistinguishable. But the one sound we did hear chilled us to the core. When she asked, what do you want? It gave us an answer. The answer was, my brother's name, which I've changed for this post. It didn't answer any of the questions except for that one, and I cried immediately. Jamie wasn't having night terrors for no reason. Something was there for him every night. We soon asked a friend to cleanse the house, and for a long time everything was okay. My brother stopped having night terrors, and my mom was able to sleep comfortably, and all was good again. Until now. I've been living in this house for a month and a half, and for the last 3 weeks I've been seeing things. Everywhere. Especially when I'm alone. Because of this, I won't stay alone anymore. I get this strong feeling of being watched. I had the feeling of someone pulling on my blanket at night. I think it's time for another cleanse. And as an FYI, I'm the third generation on my mother's side of the family who sees spirits. And my dad's side of the family in the past, before I was born, practiced certain things. I don't like speaking to them, and I won't dabble in any of that stuff most people do. I stay as far away from it as possible, and I recommend that you do too, because even if you are careful, these spirits can haunt you for a long time, even after you are gone. A little update. So I'm sitting in the living room floor playing with my nephew. Mom's on the left couch and sister's on the right couch, and my nephew has a toy piano that is made of cloth and can be folded up. This piano is behind us in the corner with all my nephew's other toys, and we're talking and watching my nephew attempt to walk when his piano makes a sound. It's like someone pressed the keys slowly. We all stop and stare and then look at each other shocked. Then the keys are pressed rapidly until finally it shuts off on its own. Mom and I are not scared. My sister is terrified due to something happening to her last night around midnight. That's a different story. I'll post another time. I hope you enjoyed this tale written by a wonderful user on Reddit by the name of TwilightDreamer87. And the story was called My Parents' Haunted House from r/free horror stories. I hope you enjoyed this. A special thank you to everybody that makes this content possible. All of my patrons on Patreon who support me and make me able to create this content and pay my bills and feed my kitty cat. If you want to become a patron, I please recommend that you do and consider it. My Patreon is patreon.com/ShiningNathan, and you can support me for as low as $3 a month. As always, I love you and take care, baby doll.